Hi, this is Eric Martin from Board Game Geek, and while I normally present a game overview in these videos of mine, since Gen Con 2008 is going to start in just a few days, I don't have much time left to cover everything that I would want to cover. I get this situation every year. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So I thought I would cover a few games in a very short period of time. Many people are making their top 10 anticipated games. They're going through the Gen Con 2018 preview that I've created for Board Game Geek, which numbers more than 600 titles, and which I'm still adding to tomorrow. Not done until the show opens, I think. I thought instead, I'm not going to do an anticipated game roundup, mostly because I put the games on the preview and then I forget about them. And mostly I don't keep track of what's coming, and I may see something in passing and I say, okay, I want to check out the Exceed fighting system, but I don't know the rules. I don't have the system down. All I know is I'm going to have this list of things that maybe I'll look at. I don't even have a list yet. I will probably make that on Tuesday while I'm flying to Indianapolis. In any case, let's not do the anticipated games. Let me give comments on things I've actually played. And in some cases, I've given overview videos so you can go and look and find out more about Ticket to Ride New York, which is a Ticket to Ride game that you play in 10 to 15 minutes. I have finished games in 6 minutes with 2 players. It's super fast. It's a scaled down board. You only have 15 vehicles each, and yet you're still trying to do the same thing, which is create routes and complete your tickets. Blue Lagoon by Rainer Knizia it's sort of a through the desert game where you are trying to bring your settlers onto different islands, connect them in chains to score on that. You're going to establish villages, and then you clear everything off but the villages, and then you build out from the villages in the second half. So you've got these 2 waves of building, interacting with other people, trying to cut them off, trying to collect the resources and get the set collection element while you're establishing yourself on islands and blah, 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 and doing all these different point things. Scoring the points is a little list of things to do. So it's a little more complex than Through the Desert, but it still has that feel. Save the Day game. It's a cooperative game from Forrest Prusen and Wonder Forge. It's very simple roll and move where you are trying to use your powers to defeat certain things that are happening in the city. And I don't know why I have not seen The Incredibles 2 yet. Just things going on. Too busy. Very good. Ages 6 and up. So perfect for that sort of that age group, because there's not much in the way of strategizing there. If you want more strategizing, you can look at Villainous, which takes the Disney villain characters, 2 to 6 players. You each represent a different villain. You have a unique win condition for your villain. You have your own deck, and then you have a fate deck that is going to have obstacles against you that other people are going to play from your own fate deck. So you've got your own world there. If I'm Captain Hook, I'm only going to see Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and this and that. I'm not going to see Ursula or Ariel or anything else. Robin Hood. There's all sorts of things in there, but it's all the villains sort of messing with each other from afar. Also did a video for Rudiger Dorn's Mercado, a buying game where you are pulling coins out of a wallet and you're applying them to different things you want to buy. And hopefully you'll get to buy them before someone else buys it out from under you, leaving you only with the second place reward or possibly nothing at all. So try to get prestige by buying stuff. You have Spring Meadow by Uwe Rosenberg, which is the 3rd title in his puzzle trilogy. You are building, it feels more Tetris style because you have the polyomino shapes that you're putting on a board, but you're trying to build from the bottom up, or left to right if you're playing sideways. I'm making lots of noise with the box. You're trying to cover certain rows, and you'll have scoring rounds that are triggered due to a certain condition during the game, and you want to win 2 of those scoring rounds. Doesn't matter what your score is, just if you win, great. You get a marker. If you do it a second time, you win the whole shebang. But when you win, you're sort of penalized a little bit. It makes it harder for you to build in the future, and so you'll probably build more topsy-turvy as you're drafting puzzle pieces off the board. We have Micropolis by Bruno Cathala and Charles Chevalier, 2 to 6 player game. Well, there's a few of those in here. It's kind of weird. A very quick drafting game a la Small World where you are drafting anthill tiles, and your anthill is going to have 10 sides. So after you draft 10 tiles, you're done. You're trying to collect fruit. You're trying to have lots of ants. You're trying to get queens, but only 1 queen per tunnel, please. Otherwise, queens, of course, fight to the death. Very simple drafting game. You have to pay. If you don't want the tile in front, you have to pay with ants. And then other people scoop up those ants, just like you scoop up the coins in Small World. It works really well with large numbers and with small as well. So it's kind of amazing that way. Only 30 minutes. Istanbul the Dice Game. Another Rudiger Dorn title. How about that? I played the Pegasus version a couple times. This is the AEG version, which is now going to be out in the US. It feels Istanbulish in that you're collecting rubies and you have certain resources you're collecting. It's a dice game, but it's not a Yahtzee style dice game where you're just trying to make a full house and 3 of a kind and this, that, and the other. And there's a little bit more to it where you're trying to collect certain things. Okay. We have Reef by Emerson Matsuuchi, published by Next Move Games. Fabulous. This is the second title for Next Move following Azul, which moved over from Plan B. This is a game where you are each building your own coral reef. You are going to be, on a turn, either drafting a card or playing a card from your hand. That's it. Each card has resources that you get on the top and a scoring condition on the bottom, but the scoring condition does not relate to the pieces you draft. If you draft orange pieces, orange is not related to the scoring here. So you're trying to build together a hand of cards where I'm going to draft orange pieces here, and then they're going to score this time while I get yellow here, and then yellow scores, and and you do all sort of thing. And the first time you play, you're pretty much just like focused on your own reef. You're not looking at what other people are doing, but as you play more, you start paying more attention. And the two-player game, just like Azul, two-player game is so good just because it's either you're getting the tiles or the other player is. And here with two-player game, you have much more awareness of the shortages and which cards are coming out and being drafted. And you'll notice in a game like there are no orange reef pieces coming out at all. So then you want to avoid you want to avoid the cards that have orange. Otherwise you're wasting half the card. You're not doing anything with it. So there's a little more you can pay attention to as you're playing. We have Scarabia by Bruno Cathala. Again, Bruno Cathala doing lots with Ludovic Malblanc. This is another pentomino game. We're going to have many pentomino games here in which each player has their own arrangement of tiles with dirt. Sorry, you don't have your own. You each have your own, but it's the same arrangement for each player. You have 12 pentomino tiles, you shuffle a deck, you turn over a card, you pick that pentomino, and you place it somewhere on the board. And you have to start where some part of the pentomino is covering the center square. And then each subsequent piece you place must touch one that you have already. What are you trying to do? You are trying to enclose areas of 1, 2, 3, or 4 spaces that have scarabs in them, and you score 1, 2, 3, or 4 points depending on the size of the area. So if it's a 4-area piece with 2 scarabs, then each of those scarabs will score you 4 points. So you cover them with markers, and you just add up your points at the end of the game. And of course, if you're looking at what other people are doing and you just copy them, that's boring and then ties. So don't do that. Why would you do that? But, you build your own thing and try to score points. And it has a solo mode where you are just drawing the cards one at a time to determine which piece to put down, and you try to cover all the scarabs. And you do this randomly arranged board, and there's all these different ways to do it. So that's a challenging puzzle on its own. We have the Sailor Moon Dice Challenge, which is a version of Button Men by James Ernest. Plays the same as Button Men. Each player is going to have a certain number of dice based on the character they have. You are taking turns rolling the dice, trying to use a single die to outpower another player's die, or use multiple dice to sum up to the value of another player's die. And when you do that, you capture that die. And you keep going back and forth until someone runs out of dice. You look at the values of the dice that you've captured, and whoever has the most points wins. Okay, what else? Princess Jing by Roberta Fraga, published by Matago. This is an incredibly elaborately produced 2-player bluffing game that you play in like 5 or 10 minutes. It's very straightforward and simple, but it's so beautiful on the table. And it's kind of amazing. He published a designer diary by Roberto, which essentially it took him 18 years to get this game published. He wanted it done right. People kept saying, I want to do this, and then they wouldn't do it. And he kept coming back, and now finally with Naid's illustration and these fancy screens, which maybe you can see on the back here, as these multiple screens that you put together the sides and something in the middle, and some of them have mirrors on them, where you're going to be able to look and try to find where the other player is hiding their princess. If you can do that, then cool. You keep them from escaping. Send them back. Ryan and Mallory Lockett, designers of Megaland from Red Raven Games, which is a Target exclusive title. Ryan's going to be demoing it at Gen Con, but not have it for sale. It's a Press Your Luck game built around the idea of you playing a video game where it's a platformer and you're all going across and trying to avoid the monsters which are going to hurt you and take your hearts. You run out of hearts, you don't get stuff for the level. If you back out a level at the right time, you get to keep your stuff, and based on the different stuff you have, you get to buy things, which are going to give you more special powers or ways to earn coins, and you're trying to get to 20 treasure in order to win. And I played only once so far with 3 people. 15-minute game maybe is much faster than I thought it would be. You thought it'd be more building up, and instead it was sort of like, oh, I had 20. So you have to keep that in mind for the next time we play, whenever that's going to be. That's the hard part with a lot of these, and that I have played a lot of them once, such as Jurassic Park Danger from the Forest Pruzan team and Ravensburger, where one player is going to control 3 dinosaurs on Jurassic Park and the original island with the original movie characters from the first movie. Those characters are going to be controlled by one or more other players who are trying to escape. And of course, you as the dinosaur player are trying to eat them. And that is what I was in my one game that I played. And my opponent could not stop laughing. He found it hilarious just how much I ate him. I don't know. Because when you eat one of the characters, a new character comes into play. So it's not that you're out. You have other people who are trying to survive, and they reach certain points. They got things they have to do in order to escape. They can't just leave irresponsibly. What else do we have here? A new version of High Society by Osprey Games, which has already come out in May. Oh my god, this artwork by Medusa Dollmaker is so good. And the game itself by Rana Knizia has been around 20 years? I think it's 20 years at this point. Amazing auction game. You're trying to buy stuff, have the most value. Whoever has the least money at the end of the game loses. There you go. Very simple. Just keep an eye on what other people are spending. Don't spend as much as them, but of course, you have to spend to get the things in order to win. So, how does that work? We have 3 games in the Penny Papers Adventures. I have only 2 of them right now by Henry Karamarek. They are published by Belgian publisher Sit Down. Dude Games, which is a US distributor, will have them at Gen Con. And you can have 1 to 100 people play at once. You're rolling 3 dice. If you don't get any special icons, you take 1 or more of the dice that you rolled and you write a number in an empty space on the sheet. And then you are trying to make patterns, or you're trying to make connecting rows, or you're trying to make triples. Maybe you get a mummy and you have to put a mummy up here, and you try to wipe out the mummy. You get penny paper shows up, and you get to write down a number of your choice in order to satisfy these goals that you're trying to do. And with one version with the Skull Island, you've got ships that you're trying to line up in order to score multiple points around the island. So it's kind of interesting to see the same dice system used in 3 games, but then plays out completely differently in each of those games. So again, what else can you do? You start with one idea and you come up with a solution and you say, I can do this. But that's not the only thing you can do. And it's interesting to see designers branch out and do more and more things. It's not just one system, not just one game. They all go in there. And yes, they're the same. And some people will say, they're all the same. Why am I bothering with these? And other people are like, I love the variety. Tastes different. We have You Blew It, a game by Wonderforge. Forest Pruzan, another Target exclusive game. The main thing that is going to attract people and get the eye, you are trying to mine and collect diamonds. Played this a couple times, 1 through 2, 1 through 3. You have these 8-sided dice which look like sticks of dynamite. It's kind of amazing on the table. You are going to roll these. When you're the active player, you're going to be flipping cards over for the deck, and there's some special things, but there's mostly diamonds, and they have numbers on them. And as you flip over a lot, other people can decide they want to steal it. But they have to roll a number that's in the lot on their stick of dynamite in order to get it. If they don't, they're out of the round. So how long do you want to wait? But if no one takes a chance, no one steals it, it comes around to my turn, I can just decide, I'm done for the round, and I keep everything that's here. Or I can flip another card and hope to get more stuff. And if everyone bombs out, they don't get it, I can flip more and then hope to roll one of those numbers myself in order to claim this giant pot. So how much do you want to press your luck? as you're trying to collect things, except one of the colors of gems is a poison color for you, so you don't want that. So hopefully you don't get it. Pete Matz, card game by Ben Penchback and Matt Riddle, published by Lookout Games. Lookout will have some games there. I finally heard from them, was it Sunday morning? The Sunday before Gen Con? Today? Yes, today. Had not heard back from Asmodee about them, but Pete Matz will be for sale at the show along with Agricola Farmers of the Moor, along with Patchwork Express. I still need final images of them in order to put them in our preview and get everything done. Pete Matz is a collecting game in which birds are at a bird feeder and you're playing a card from your hand, trying to scare away the bird that's at the feeder, or maybe build a gang of birds in order to scare them away, in order to collect seeds, and you're going to score points from seeds, and you're going to score points if you have identical birds in the same color and value. You have mated them, and you will score points for them, and you'll score points for the majorities of colors that you have as well. Oh my goodness, what else do we have here? We're getting on the things that I have not played yet. Not quite yet. Big Money. Another exclusive game from the Forge Design Wonder Forge team, in which you are rolling dice and you are getting money based on the poker style combinations you get from the dice. And with the money, you're going to buy stocks, and each turn, in addition to rolling dice, you're going to roll a company die, and those companies pay out. So it's pretty random whether you're going to get money or not, or one of the sides of the company die has an event, and maybe you'll get the event, and the event will steal all your stocks, or you have to pay taxes, or you'll get something, or just, it's very random. But I played it with my mom and my son, and they both liked it just because I think they like rolling dice and taking money. And they were frustrated by the event deck, yet they did not want to play without it, and they were excited when it showed up. So I'm not sure what to make of that, except they asked to play it again, so they liked it, and I played it twice, and that is the case with most of these games I'm talking about here. I played them once or twice. I don't feel comfortable doing a review. I'm telling you overviews of how they've hit me. I am in a unique position. I realize a privileged position as news editor of Board Game Geek. I get a lot of samples sent to me, and then I play them once or twice, but not enough because I get a lot of games, and I should not be complaining because, of course, that's a fortunate thing to do. But I feel bad that I don't cover them the way that I feel I should. So here I am doing a review video right before Gen Con starts. We continue with Dice Fishing, published in a new edition by Homo Sapiens Lab. That will be available, I believe, in the Daily Magic Games booth at Gen Con. It's an interesting game for 2 to 5 players, in which you are given a fish, and you see how many points it's worth, and the condition that you need to catch the fish. You need dice that sum up to 9, and you need to roll a 3. Okay, I'm just making this up at the moment. But each player then takes the number of dice that they want to use to try to fish. Those are your fishing rods, or the bait you're putting on the hooks. You want to think of it that way. And whoever puts out the fewest dice rolls first. So you got the worst odds of actually catching it, but you get to go first. So maybe you get lucky. So it depends on how much you want to press your luck. And there's a couple dice that will let you re-roll things, or you can use them for the number. Because maybe a fish says you need a 13. I could just use the 20-sided die, and I'm going to make that some percentage of the time, and I only use 1 die, so I'm going to roll first. So there you go. 2 to 5 players, try to do that. Word Slam Family, which I played 2 or 3 times now. It's kind of blended because we weren't scoring points. We're just kind of playing. If you played Word Slam by Inca and Marcus Brand, this plays the same. Each team has their own deck of clue cards and is going to give clues to try to guess a word. What's different in here is that instead of having cards on difficulty categories where you have super easy and medium and difficult, instead you have topic categories. So we may have a card and we know it's a food card, and the next card in the deck has a number 2 on it. So I look at the number 2 here, and this is what we're trying to guess. And I show it to the clue giver on the other team, and they'll look at it, and we each then give clues only with our personal deck of cards to people on our team. They're the only ones who see it, but they're guessing answers, and the other team hears their guesses. So you kind of triangulate what the other people are guessing and try to get the answer. And some of them have been incredibly difficult, even though it seems like they should not be, even though I am an awesome clue giver as I self-assess my clue giving abilities. But some people don't get it. Okay. It's a difficult thing. You have to get used to it. And the first time you play, you will be terrible because you don't know what cards are in the clue deck. But when you start playing repeatedly and you immediately can mentally put together, I know which clues I want to put together, and this verb and this adjective and this preposition and and this second sentence, and then you have to find them. You find them as quickly as you can, digging through the decks. Very fun. Oh, we played this for hours and hours. We weren't keeping score. It's just like one person gives a clue. This is the original game, Word Slam. One person gives a clue, they finish, the next player takes their seat, and we have like 6 people on each team, and then people just come and go for hours. Fantastic. Okay. Wow, we're getting down to stuff I have not played, such as Weird Things Humans Search For by Big Potato, which is, thank goodness, I read the rules, not a party game in which you have a judge trying to guess what's the funniest thing that you're going to find. No, what you're going to have are Google searches with category answers. It sort of has a prompt here. Did dinosaurs something? What are people actually trying to look for? What do people want to know? Why do I have so much? What comes after that blank? Well, the card is going to have like the top 10 results, and each team is going to give a main answer and then a secondary answer, and you're going to score points. If your main answer is top of the chart, you score 4 points. If it's anywhere on the list, you score 2 points. If your secondary answer is anywhere, you score a point. So you get 0 to 5 points on a turn. You play a certain number of rounds. See who wins. There you go. So, funny stuff, trying to imagine what humans are doing. What else do we have? Another Bruno Cathala title, King Domino, Age of Giants. As you see, I have not even taken the shrink wrap off. Oh, just not enough time. I'm so sorry. But this adds giants, more tiles to King Domino or Queen Domino or both, however you want to combine them. It has some giants in there, which are going to set up space on your land, and that's not good because who wants giants living in their kingdom where they're eating all your stuff? So hopefully you can make them walk over to someone else's kingdom and take up residence there. We have Fortune City by Big Fun, Taiwanese publisher. Again, I have not even read the rules yet. I'm so sorry. But I am looking, and drop dynamite dice on the floor and blow up. I'm looking because they have the cutest people included in their game. They're like these little mushroom people. That's kind of amazing. All the bits here. And it will be out at Spiel, so I will aim to play it and preview it at a Spiel. That's what I aim to do all the time. But then you have small problems, such as the Star Trek Flux and Next Generation Flux and the Bridge expansion, which allows you to combine the two, showing up on Saturday, the Saturday before Gen Con, and I'm not going to be able to play it in time. These games debut at Gen Con, and you'll be able to play them there. And when I hang out with my brother again, we'll play more Flux, because that's mostly who I play with, because we play super quickly. And I've played some games where it drags on forever just because people keep reading their cards and they don't just do stuff and they don't know the principles of playing Flux. Ideally, playing optimally, playing well, just playing randomly, playing quickly. I know some people hate it, but find the right audience, the game works. That's what happens all the time. Find the right audience and the game works. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you are not the audience. Doesn't necessarily mean the game is bad. It may mean the game is not for you. That does not mean that bad games don't exist, because we try to judge games based on what I think the designer is trying to do. Do they succeed? Does it work? Maybe I don't assess them correctly. Do your best. Cover all these games. Cover them all. Last game. One I have played only twice, and I played it twice, both times with 3 people, and in both times the other people do not like auction games and they play just to enjoy. And so it was not really the ideal experience. So each convention I go to, I typically have one game that I carry on with me that I want to play as much as possible. And for the last several conventions, that's been the Mind. For Gen Con, I'm bringing Lost Cities Rivals because I want to play with people who might actually like auctions and give me more experience with this game. This plays like Lost Cities. You are building expeditions. You have to play numbers that go from low to high. Once you play a 6, you cannot play anything lower than a 6 as you advance on the path towards, hopefully the treasure that waits at the end of the path. Now, couple of changes that make it completely different from Lost Cities, aside from it being the same. And that is that there are multiple numbers that are the same. Each of the 5 colors has numbers 2 to 5 twice, along with 6 to 10 once. And the 2 to 5s are worth 1 point each. The 6 to 10 are worth 2 points each. That's it for the points, except for the investment cards, which you must put down investment cards before you start putting down number cards. Investment cards are a promise. I think I can do this. I think I'm awesome. In Lost Cities, you lose points if you don't have a score of at least 20 in a color. Lost Cities Rivals doesn't do that. You have just wasted your time if you have investment cards and you never put anything on it. The main difference, the thing that really just twists it and makes it completely different, is that you are buying cards in an auction. On a turn, you are either flipping over a card and adding it to the pool of cards that are available to be auctioned, or you're calling an auction. That's it. One of those two. You round robin auction until all but one player passes. That player puts their money into a central pool. They take as many cards as they want, their choice, and add them to their expeditions. They may optionally take one card from the pool and throw it out of the game. If I'm not collecting red, I'll get rid of the red. Or maybe I've passed, I'm at red 6 and red 5's in the pool. Forget it. You guys can't have it. It's worthless to me, therefore I'll make it worthless to you. And then I flip over a card to juice up the pool. Once you finish a quarter of the deck, and after each quarter of the deck, you take all the money that's been spent on auctions and you redistribute it. So it's got this funky feel, if you played Trump Fabrique or Dream Factory, that feel of where you are cash poor and you're spending out the money. You try to time what lot you're looking for and when you want to pull the trigger and actually spend a bunch of money. Because once you've spent it, if everyone else can outspend you, all you can do is keep calling auctions and try to get people to win. They may let you win with your lousy dollar, and then you don't actually want anything there. And all you can do is throw something away, and you're just wasting your money, piddling it away for nothing. But you'll get money back at the end of the quarter. And at the end of the game, you're going to score for your expeditions, summing up the number of footprints on those cards. If you have 4 numbers in an expedition, you get 8 points. If you have investment cards, you double, triple, quadruple, or even quintuple the value of that expedition, although not the 8-point bonus. And each gold you have is worth a point. Simple, yet not. The 2 games I played have been completely different in nature. And I think that will happen continually. As with many auction games, you figure out how you want to bid. That first game is going to be, you're going to be useless. You have no plan, no idea what you're going to do, but you're going to do stuff anyway, just because whatever, you're going to sit on your money the whole game? No, at some point you're going to pull the trigger and start buying things, and later on you may be like, I should not have, and reconfigure. But I need to play again with the same people, or at least more times, in order to figure out what this is like. So if you see me at Gen Con in the evening, hopefully I'll have time to play with you. I have a few press events to go to, as is usually the case. Wednesday has a bunch of things. Thursday there's something. I think Saturday night there's something. There's a lot of undetermined things. Things will change. We don't even get out of the booth until 7:30. Gotta eat, hang out at the hotel, or catch us in the Hot Games room in the Hyatt Regency Ballroom on the 2nd floor, where we have a Hot Games room running from Thursday at 10 to midnight. Same hours Friday and Saturday, Sunday 10 to 3. You come here, you play all the games from Gen Con. Every publisher that is demoing games in our booth has said they will give us copies of those games for the Hot Games room. We're supposed to be getting them all Wednesday, so Thursday morning you can start digging into all that stuff. Just like dig into this pile in front of me. If I scan down and you show all this stuff, I wish I could tell you more details. I wish I had more time to do that. But ideally, you like the Gen Con preview. That's been helpful. You track all your must-haves. You filter out for the categories, the prices, everything. You filter out so many different ways in that preview. Hopefully that's been helpful to you. We will be live streaming from Gen Con Thursday through Sunday. 29 hours of filming. So much stuff to do. So much going on at Gen Con. If you're going to be there, hopefully you can come by and say hi. If you are not going to be there or you were not there, or we just missed you and you're watching this long after Gen Con 2018, well, maybe we'll see you at the next one, because we go to a lot of conventions. Hope this video has helped. If not, I'll make more.